I began working on this image by analyzing the completed painting, trying to understand its internal logic, rhythm, and symmetry. The composition is based on a circular structure. So my first step was to outline the overall circle and central point. This became the anchor for the entire structure. Using a B2 pencil, I carefully outlined the main axes, vertical, horizontal, and diagonal, to maintain balance and uniformity of the elements. Then I divided the circle into rings and sectors, gradually building up the geometric structure. I applied light pressure. The lines were light, almost airy, allowing for adjustments at any time. I used the eraser frequently, not to erase mistakes, but to refine the form, weaken the lines, and cleanse the composition of excess. After this, I began introducing internal symbols, triangles, diamonds, and circular elements, drawing on the existing painting but allowing myself some creative deviations. The sketch evolved gradually, layer by layer, until the entire composition became coherent and rhythmically complete. I approached the painting deliberately and consistently, understanding that color here plays a structural rather than decorative role. I used acrylic paints and 3 brushes, a larger than medium brush for large fills, a medium brush for shapes and segments, and a fine brush for lines, symbols, and accents. I began with the largest elements, working first on the main rings and large sections of the circle. I used saturated but not aggressive colors, orange, green, yellow, and blue. I applied the paint unevenly with a slight texture to maintain the feeling of a lively, handcrafted process rather than mechanical pouring. After that, I moved on to the middle elements, the oval shapes, circles, and intersecting segments. Here, I began to play with contrasts. I balanced warm colors with cool ones, enhancing the depth of the composition. I tried to repeat each color in different parts of the painting so that it breathes and does not disintegrate into separate pieces. Only then did I move on to the madams, the central core of the composition. I made the center more saturated and detailed, enhancing the contrast and adding rhythm through alternating colors. It was here that I allowed myself more symbolism and density, as the center is the eye's point of attraction. In the final stage, I focused on the small details. With a fine brush, I outlined the contours, adding symbols, dots, and inner lines. These elements aren't immediately striking, but they create a sense of completeness and meditativeness. I made the background soft and muted so that it wouldn't conflict with the main form, but rather emphasize it. Critical assessment of the painting. What worked well? The painting is cohesive and harmonious. Its strengths are the composition and rhythm. The eye moves naturally from the outer circle to the center and back. The color palette is lively, balanced, without sharp clashes. There is a sense of mandala, meditation, and inner movement. What wasn't quite right? In some places, the color density is uneven. Certain segments appear slightly weaker in saturation. Depth could also be more boldly explored by adding more gradations of a single color, rather than using it flatly. What could be added or changed? The center could be enhanced by adding more contrast or subtle graphics. Another interesting move would be to introduce one unexpected accent color, which would break the symmetry but add emotional tension. The painting is executed in the style of an abstract geometric mandala with symbolic and ethnic elements. It might appeal to people interested in meditation, spiritual practices, psychology, as well as those who enjoy ornamental and rhythmic art. This work is not about a subject, but about a state of being, and that is precisely its strength.